Hey guys, in this video I'm going to be introducing statistics. So let's get started. So let's say you were a statistics teacher and you decided to give your students a pre-test on the first week of school. And you graded all the all the tests, and there were 51 students who took it. So let's write that down. So 51 students who took the pre-test, and these were all the scores. So you organized all the scores into a table, so all the possible scores and the number of students that received that score. So we already know there's a total of 51 students. Okay. So, and you organized all this data into a dot plot. So this is a dot plot. So each individual dot on this dot plot represents each individual student's score on the pretest. So this student right here received a 95, while these students received a 50 on the pretest. So you have access to each individual student's score, but you want to know how the class did overall. So there are three ways that you can measure this. The first way is through calculating the mean. The mean is the average. And you can calculate the average in this problem by adding up all the scores on the pretest. So it would be 40 plus 45 plus 50 times 1, 2, 3, 4. That is 50 times 4, because you're adding 50 plus 50 plus 50 plus 50, which is 200. And you can do that for, each grade. So let's do that right now. Okay, so we have all the scores here for each individual grade added up. So adding all of these together, we should get 3,640. Okay, there we go. Let's rewrite that neater. Okay, so 3,640. So all the scores, so that would be 3,640. And divided by, the number of students. So number of students. And we already know that's 51. So 51 students. So this is what the average or the mean equals. So 3,640 divided by 51 equals 71.3725. So you get this decimal number, right? So you can round to the nearest hundredth. So that would be 71.37. So this is the average. So, the class overall did pretty okay, I would say, on this pretest. 71% being the average. So, most students got somewhere around, 71. So that would be around right here. And I would say that's pretty accurate. That's kind of the middle where, most students are. It's kind of balanced on both sides. So the second way we can find out, how the class did is through something called the median. So median is basically the middle number. So you're trying to find out the middle number. So a way you calculate the middle number is that you take all the students, so number of students, and divide by 2. So when you divide 51 divided by 2, you get 25.5, right? So you can't have half of a student. So you try to find the 25th student. So you count to 25. So let's use a different color. So 1, 2, so this is 4. So that would be 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. So 25 to 26 is within 70. So the middle number would be 70. So another way to do this is by writing each and every score down. So 40 occurs once, then 45, then 50 occurs 4 times, so 50, 50, 50. Well, this method takes too long. So always taking the total number of subjects or objects or subjects, and divide that by 2, find that middle number. So, okay, so now you're wondering, what if the number was between here and here? So let's say this was the 25th number and this was the 26th, then we had 25.5. Well, in this case, you would take 70 plus 75 and find the average. You would find the mean of 70 and 75. So 70 plus 75 equals 145. And then you would divide this by 2 and you would get, okay, so 145 divided by 2, you would get 72.5. But that's not our case. Our median is between 70 and 70. So 70 plus 70, if you wanted to make sure, so 70, so let's do this here. So 70 times 70 plus 70, my bad. 70 equals 140, and 140 divided by 2 equals 70. So that is our middle number, our middle score. So you can see that, the mean gave us a score of 71.37 and the median gave us a score of 70, which are really close together. So, they're literally, this is just almost 1 plus 70. And they're both really accurate. And, 70 is right here, half the data is on the left and half the data is on the right. So our third type is called the mode. Let's keep it consistent. So mode. And this basically represents, the most. This basically means the most. So it's basically calculating which grade had the most scores or most people getting the score. Grade with most number of people. With of students. So if we go back to the data plot, let's clean this up a little. Okay, so you can see that clearly the number 70 has the most number of students. So, and you can look back to the data table right here, and 70 has the most with 8 students. So this would be 70 because 70 has the most number of students. So you're looking at the grade. So that would be 70. So we got the same answer for these 2 questions. Now, how do you find out which one of these 3 to use in a situation like this? Well, the mean will give you the accurate score, the average all the time, and the median will give you the middle, and the mode gives you the most. So let's look at the dot plot here. In this dot plot, we have, okay, let's clean this up. We have something called a normal distribution. So, it forms a bell curve like this. So it's kind of symmetrical on both sides with with one peak, a singular peak at the middle. So, when you have something like this is called a bell curve or a normal distribution. So bell curve, but the preferred term is normal distribution. This is a normal distribution. Okay, great. So in this normal distribution, so when you have a normal distribution, it is preferred, highly preferred, that you use the mean. And so okay, now you know when to use the mean. So when do you use the median or the mode? So now that we have something that looks like this is what our test scores look like. Something like this, right? So this is our normal distribution. So let's say, this time more of our students did well. Like in your other class, maybe it was algebra 2. More students got, like closer to the 90s or hundreds. And, there were a few students, who didn't probably do the summer homework. And it kind of looks like this. So in this, situation, the graph is skewed to the left. So this is called skewed left. So this is normal. This is skewed left. And if we had something like this, where the students, didn't do so well, like this class absolutely, they didn't get the message that there was a summer assignment, and they just missed out. This would form a distribution called skewed right. Skewed right. So when we have distributions that are skewed, the mean would generally represent, in these cases, in the middle. So the mean is always in the middle. That is very important to know. The mean is always in the middle, the average. So let's do this for the mean. So the purple is the mean. So mean, the purple is the mean. Well, in these two instances, the skewed, distributions, the mean doesn't really represent majority of the class. So it doesn't represent most of these students. It doesn't represent these students, most of these students. It kind of represents, all these students. But the biggest problem is it's not measuring the majority. So when you have instances like that, you generally want to use the median. The median. So you're trying to find the middle value. So when you look at these kind of situations, the median would generally be somewhere around here. So use a different color. So the median will be somewhere around here, and the median for this will be somewhere around here. It's a little over exaggerating, so it'll be somewhere around here. For this, it will be somewhere around here. So that way you're slightly shifted towards the majority, and you're kind of getting a better estimate on how these classes are doing. So when it's skewed, use the median. And when it's normal like this, use the mean. So let me write that down. So when it's normal distribution, and then this would be for when it is skewed. Okay, so that is when you would use the mean and the median. The mode, you don't really use the mode. You could have a graph that looked something like this. So let's say it was like this. It was like that, but then mostly it was kind of like this. Well, in this situation, let me kind of move this graph, actually, I'm sorry. So moving this a little up. So in this situation, the graph is actually pretty normal, I would say. So let's say, let's not have those 2 points. So it's kind of normal. It's not really skewed much. Let's draw that better. Okay. So let's add a few more points. So in this situation right here, the median would be around here. So somewhere around here. But the mode represents this point. Well, that's not very accurate. And let's say, for these graphs, the mode could work, but it doesn't give you the most accurate, observation on how your class did. So, you generally want to use the mean, and you definitely want to use the median. Thanks for watching.